Welcome gentlemen, to Days the World of Rare Coins and Hidden Treasures. Today we're taking a closer look at 5 United States Jefferson Nickels, the iconic 5-cent coins featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. These coins may look ordinary at first glance, but don't be fooled, even circulated and worn nickels can hold surprising value depending on their year, mint mark and rare features. In this video we'll explore each of these 5 coins, uncover their history, examine their condition, and reveal whether any of them could be worth more than their face value. Coin number 1. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel may look like an ordinary 5-cent coin at first glance, but hidden within its worn surface could be a story that sparks curiosity, excitement, and even dreams of unexpected wealth. For decades, collectors and everyday people alike have searched through pocket change, hoping to uncover coins that carry extraordinary value. And while most 1977 nickels are common, there are certain rare variations and conditions that make this coin far more fascinating than it appears. This coin features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front, a design that has remained iconic in American coinage history. On the reverse side you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, carefully engraved with detail that reflects the craftsmanship of its time. Coins like these were minted in large numbers, but not all of them were created equally. Subtle differences, minting errors, and preservation levels can dramatically affect their value. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the absence of a mint mark, is one of the most widely circulated versions. Millions of these coins entered everyday use, passing from hand to hand, slowly accumulating wear and tear. Over time, this circulation can reduce their condition, but occasionally it also gives them a unique character that collectors find appealing. What truly captures attention is the possibility of rare minting errors. These errors can occur during the coin production process, creating unusual features such as off-center strikes, double dies, or even planchet flaws. A coin that carries such an error instantly becomes more than just currency, it becomes a collectible piece of history. In circulated and worn condition, most 1977 nickels are worth only a small premium over face value. However, there are exceptions that break this rule. Coins that were accidentally preserved in better condition or discovered in forgotten collections can fetch significantly higher prices. The difference between an ordinary coin and a valuable one often lies in the smallest details. Collectors pay close attention to the sharpness of Jefferson's profile, the clarity of the lettering, and the condition of the Monticello building on the reverse. Even slight improvements in these features can elevate a coin's desirability. Coins graded in higher conditions, especially those approaching mint state, are much harder to find and therefore more valuable. There is also a psychological thrill attached to coin collecting. The idea that a simple nickel could potentially be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars creates a sense of adventure. It transforms everyday transactions into opportunities for discovery, where even loose change becomes worth examining carefully. While stories sometimes exaggerate the value of coins into the millions, it's important to understand the reality. Not every 1977 nickel will make someone rich overnight. However, rare error coins and exceptionally well-preserved examples have been known to sell for impressive amounts, making them highly sought after in the collector's market. The copper-nickel composition of the coin gives it a distinct appearance with a smooth, slightly silvery tone. Over time, this surface can develop a patina that reflects its journey through years of use. Some collectors appreciate this aged look, while others prefer coins that retain their original luster. The history behind the Jefferson nickel adds to its appeal. Introduced in 1938, this coin replaced the buffalo nickel and marked a shift toward more modern designs. By 1977, the design had already become a staple of American coinage, representing stability and continuity. When examining a 1977 nickel, it's essential to look for any unusual characteristics. These can include doubling in the text, misaligned strikes, or inconsistencies in the metal surface. Such features can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a rare collectible. Another factor that influences value is grading. Professional coin grading services evaluate coins based on their condition, assigning them a numerical grade that helps determine their market worth. A higher grade often means a higher price, especially for older coins. The rarity of certain variations also plays a crucial role. Even within the same year and mint, some coins are significantly harder to find than others. This scarcity drives demand among collectors, increasing their potential value. For beginners, the world of coin collecting can feel overwhelming, but it starts with simple observation. Taking the time to carefully inspect coins can reveal hidden details that might otherwise go unnoticed. This practice not only improves knowledge but also enhances the enjoyment of the hobby. It's also worth noting that coin values can fluctuate over time. Market trends, collector interest, and economic factors all influence how much a coin is worth. What may seem ordinary today could become more valuable in the future. Stories of valuable coins discovered in everyday change continue to inspire collectors around the world. These stories remind us that treasure can sometimes be found in the most unexpected places, waiting to be recognized. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel stands as a symbol of this possibility. While most examples are common, the chance of finding something rare keeps the excitement alive. It's this blend of history, mystery, and potential that makes coin collecting so captivating. Preserving coins properly is another important aspect. Keeping them in protective holders and avoiding unnecessary handling can help maintain their condition. This, in turn, preserves their value for years to come. For those who take the time to learn and explore, coins like the 1977 nickel offer more than just monetary value. They provide a connection to the past, telling stories of the era in which they were created. The design itself reflects the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, one of America's most influential figures. His image on the coin serves as a reminder of the nation's history and ideals. Collectors often find joy not only in the value of their coins but also in the process of building a collection. Each coin adds a new chapter to their journey, making the hobby deeply personal and rewarding. The thrill of discovery is what keeps collectors searching. Whether it's a rare error or a beautifully preserved example, each find brings a sense of accomplishment. While the dream of becoming wealthy from a single coin is appealing, the true value lies in the knowledge and experience gained along the way. Coin collecting teaches patience, attention to detail, and appreciation for history. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel may not always be a ticket to instant riches, but it holds the potential to surprise those who look closely. Its story is one of possibility, waiting to be uncovered. In the end, every coin has a story, and the 1977 nickel is no exception. It invites us to explore, to learn, and to imagine what hidden treasures might still be out there. So before you spend that nickel without a second thought, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history that's worth far more than you ever expected. Coin number 2, the 1965 Jefferson Nickel, might look like an ordinary coin at first glance, something you could easily ignore or even spend without a second thought. But what if I told you that hidden within this simple 5-cent piece could be a story of history, mystery, and unexpected value? A coin that millions have held, yet only a few truly understand. In 1965, the United States was going through a major coinage transition. Silver was being removed from circulating coins due to rising prices, and the mint was under pressure to produce massive quantities of coins quickly. This led to an unusual decision. Mint marks were removed from all coins between 1965 and 1967. So if you're holding a 1965 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, that is completely normal. The Jefferson nickel itself features the face of Thomas Jefferson on the front, a design that has been used since 1938. On the reverse side you'll find Monticello, his historic home. The design is classic, recognizable, and deeply tied to American heritage. But in 1965, these coins were struck under unique circumstances that make them fascinating to collectors. Most 1965 nickels are made of a copper-nickel alloy, meaning they have no silver content at all. This already tells us something important. These coins were never intended to be valuable due to metal content. Their value comes from rarity, condition, and errors, not from what they are made of. Now here is where things get interesting. While millions of these coins were produced, only a tiny fraction have survived in high-grade condition. A worn, circulated 1965 nickel is very common and usually worth only its face value. But if you find one in exceptional condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, its value can increase significantly. Collectors look for coins that appear almost untouched. These are known as mint state coins. A 1965 nickel in mint state condition can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars depending on its grade. But the real excitement begins when we talk about rare errors. Minting errors are the true treasure in the world of coins. Some 1965 nickels were struck with doubled dies, off-center strikes, or other unusual mistakes. These errors can turn an ordinary coin into something incredibly valuable. In rare cases, collectors have paid hundreds or even thousands of dollars for such pieces. However, it's important to be realistic. The idea that a 1965 nickel could make you a billionaire overnight is more myth than reality. While rare coins can be extremely valuable, the chances of finding one worth millions are incredibly small. Still, the thrill of the hunt is what keeps collectors searching. One of the most sought-after features in a Jefferson nickel is something called full steps. This refers to the steps on the Monticello building on the reverse side. If all the steps are clearly visible and sharply struck, the coin is considered much more valuable. Finding a 1965 nickel with full steps in high-grade condition is rare. These coins can sell for hundreds or even over $1,000 depending on the grading. It's a perfect example of how small details can make a big difference in value. Another important factor is preservation. Coins that have been kept safe from scratches, dirt, and wear are far more desirable. Even a small scratch can reduce a coin's value significantly. That's why serious collectors store their coins carefully in protective holders. You might be wondering, how do you know if your coin is valuable? The first step is to examine it closely. Look at the details, the shine, and the edges. Check for any unusual features or errors. Every tiny detail matters in the world of coin collecting. It's also important to understand grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state 70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 1965 nickel in average circulated condition might be worth only 5 cents, but in mint state 65 or higher it becomes something special. The story of the 1965 nickel is also a story of mass production. The U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion nickels that year. This means that rarity does not come from low mintage but from condition and unique characteristics. Because of this, many people overlook the 1965 nickel. They assume it has no value beyond its face value, but collectors know better. They understand that even common coins can become valuable under the right circumstances. There is also a psychological aspect to collecting. The idea that something so small and ordinary could hold hidden value is incredibly exciting. It turns everyday objects into potential treasures. Over the years, stories have circulated about people finding rare coins in pocket change and selling them for large amounts. While these stories are often exaggerated, they are not entirely impossible. Rare finds do happen, but they require knowledge, patience, and a bit of luck. If you are serious about collecting, it's important to educate yourself, learn about coin grading, minting errors, and historical context. The more you know, the better your chances of identifying something valuable. The 1965 Jefferson nickel is not just a coin, it's a piece of history. It represents a time when the U.S. Mint was adapting to economic changes and experimenting with new approaches to coin production. Holding one of these coins is like holding a small piece of that history. It connects you to the past in a tangible way, something that few other objects can do. Even if your 1965 nickel is not worth much money, it can still be valuable in other ways. It can be the start of a collection, a learning experience, or even a hobby that brings you joy. For many collectors, the true value of coins is not just in money but in the stories they tell. Each coin has a journey, passing through countless hands over the years. Imagine where your 1965 nickel has been, how many people have used it, what it has seen, and how it ended up with you. That sense of mystery is part of what makes coin collecting so fascinating. If you believe you have a special coin, consider getting it evaluated by a professional grading service. They can determine its condition and authenticity, which can significantly impact its value. Remember, not every coin is a hidden treasure, but every coin has the potential to be one. The key is knowing what to look for and appreciating the details. The dream of finding a coin worth a fortune is what draws many people into this hobby. While it may not happen overnight, the journey itself can be incredibly rewarding. So the next time you come across a 1965 Jefferson nickel, don't just ignore it, take a closer look. You might not become a billionaire, but you could discover something truly special. In the end, the real treasure is not just the coin itself, but the knowledge, excitement, and passion that come with discovering its story. And who knows, that small, ordinary nickel in your hand might just be the beginning of something extraordinary. Coin number 3, 1986 Jefferson Nickel may look like an ordinary 5-cent coin, but behind its simple appearance lies a fascinating story that many collectors and treasure hunters often overlook. Featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, this coin continues a legacy that dates back to 1938, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history. At first glance, a circulated 1986 P nickel might seem worn, dull, and insignificant. It has likely passed through countless hands, been used in everyday transactions, and forgotten in jars or drawers. But sometimes, even the most ordinary-looking coins can carry surprising value if you know what to look for. The P mint mark on this coin indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Interestingly, 1986 was a year when the Philadelphia Mint produced a large number of nickels, meaning most of them are still very common today in circulated condition. Because of this high mintage, a typical worn 1986 P Jefferson nickel usually holds a value close to its face value, just 5 cents. However, that does not mean all coins from this year are worthless. In fact, certain rare variations and high-grade examples can be worth significantly more. The true excitement begins when collectors search for coins in exceptional condition. A 1986 P nickel that has never been circulated and remains in mint state can command higher prices, especially if it has sharp details, strong luster, and no visible damage. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services can sell for several dollars and in rare cases even more depending on demand. While this is far from millions, it still represents a huge jump from face value. Another factor that can increase value is the presence of minting errors. Error coins are among the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world, and even small imperfections can turn a common coin into a collector's prize. For the 1986 P nickel, collectors look for errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet defects. These unusual characteristics make each coin unique and often more valuable than standard issues. A double die error, for example, occurs when the coin design is struck more than once in slightly different positions. This creates a noticeable doubling effect on letters or numbers, making the coin stand out instantly. Off-center strikes are another exciting possibility. When the coin is not properly aligned during minting, part of the design may be missing or shifted, creating a dramatic and rare appearance. Even small details like die cracks or unusual surface textures can catch the attention of experienced collectors. These features tell a story about the minting process and the life of the coin. Despite all this, it is important to remain realistic. Claims that a 1986 P nickel is worth millions of dollars are not supported by actual market history. No verified sale of this coin in circulated condition has reached anywhere near that level. However, the dream of finding something valuable in your pocket change continues to inspire people around the world. That excitement is part of what makes coin collecting so addictive and enjoyable. Sometimes, the real value of a coin is not just in money, but in the history it represents. Holding a Jefferson nickel connects you to decades of American commerce, culture, and craftsmanship. The portrait of Thomas Jefferson itself is a reminder of the nation's founding principles. Every detail on the coin, from the lettering to the image of Monticello on the reverse, reflects careful design and historical significance. Collectors often build entire collections around Jefferson nickels, searching for complete sets that include every year and mint mark. The 1986 P is an essential part of that journey. Even though it may not make you a billionaire overnight, this coin can still be a meaningful addition to a collection, especially if it is in good condition or has unique features. Condition plays a crucial role in determining value. Coins that are heavily worn, scratched, or damaged will always be worth less than those that are clean and well preserved. Proper storage can make a big difference. Keeping coins in protective holders and away from moisture helps maintain their condition over time. For beginners, the 1986p Jefferson Nickel is a great starting point. It is affordable, easy to find, and offers a chance to learn about grading, errors, and coin history. Experienced collectors, on the other hand, may hunt specifically for high-grade or error examples, knowing that even small differences can lead to increased value. The thrill of searching through pocket change or old collections is something that never gets old. Every coin has the potential to surprise you. While most 1986p nickels will remain common, a rare error or pristine example could still bring excitement and a modest financial reward. Understanding the difference between hype and reality is important. Not every coin is a hidden fortune, but every coin has a story worth discovering. In the end, the true power of this coin is not in instant wealth, but in the knowledge, curiosity, and passion it inspires. So before you spend that nickel without a second thought, take a closer look. You might not find millions, but you could find something just as valuable, a connection to history and the thrill of the hunt. And who knows, the next coin you examine might be the one that changes everything, not overnight but step by step, building your journey as a collector. Coin number 4, the 1994D Jefferson Nickel, is one of those coins that millions of people have seen, touched, and spent without a second thought. It carries the calm and familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front, a face that has quietly watched over American coinage for decades. But what if I told you that hidden among these ordinary coins could be pieces worth far more than just 5 cents? At first glance, this coin seems completely normal. It was minted in 1994 at the Denver Mint, which is why you'll notice the small D mint mark on the obverse. Billions of these coins were produced, and most of them are still floating around in circulation today, passing from hand to hand unnoticed. The typical 1994D Jefferson nickel is made from a copper-nickel alloy, giving it that slightly silvery appearance with a copper core. Over time, as the coin wears down, you may start to notice hints of that copper tone peeking through on the edges. This is completely normal and not a sign of extreme value by itself. Now here, where things get interesting. While most 1994D nickels are only worth face value, a very small number stand out due to condition, rarity, and minting errors. These are the coins that collectors hunt for, the ones that can turn an ordinary pocket find into something truly exciting. Condition is everything in the coin world. A heavily circulated 1994D nickel, scratched, worn, and dull, will almost always remain worth just 5 cents. But if you happen to find one in near-perfect condition with sharp details and original mint luster, its value can rise dramatically. Coins graded in mint state condition, especially those with high grades like MS65 or above, can sell for significantly more than face value. These coins look almost untouched, as if they were just minted yesterday. Finding one in circulation is rare but not impossible. Even more valuable are coins with special features like full steps on the Monticello building on the reverse. This detail refers to the clarity of the steps leading up to Jefferson's home. If all the steps are clearly visible and not worn or weakly struck, collectors consider the coin far more desirable than there are error coins. These are the real hidden treasures. 1994D nickel with a minting error, such as double strikes, off-center designs, or die cracks, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Imagine holding a coin that was struck twice by mistake, creating a ghost-like duplicate image, or one where the design is slightly off-center, making it instantly different from millions of others. These small imperfections are what make certain coins incredibly valuable. However, it's important to understand one key truth. Not every 1994D nickel is worth a fortune. In fact, the vast majority are still just worth 5 cents. The dream of becoming a millionaire overnight from this coin alone is extremely unlikely unless you possess a rare error or a top-grade specimen, but that doesn't mean you should ignore these coins. Every great coin collection starts with small discoveries. And sometimes, the most valuable finds come from the most unexpected places, like loose change in your pocket. Collectors around the world spend years searching through rolls of coins, hoping to find that one special piece. It's not just about money, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of discovering something rare hidden in plain sight. The history behind the Jefferson nickel adds to its charm. Introduced in 1938, this coin replaced the Buffalo nickel and has remained in production ever since. It represents a long-standing tradition in American currency. The 1994 version continues that legacy, connecting modern collectors with decades of history. Every scratch and mark on a circulated coin tells a story of where it has been and how it has been used. If you believe you have a special 1994D nickel, the best step is to examine it closely. Look for sharp details, unusual markings, or anything that seems different from a standard coin. Even the smallest variation can make a difference. Professional grading services can help determine the true value of your coin. They assess condition, authenticity, and rarity, giving you a clearer idea of what you actually have. It's easy to get caught up in stories claiming that common coins are worth millions. While there are rare cases of extremely valuable coins, These are exceptions, not the rule. Knowledge is your greatest tool in separating fact from fiction. Still, the possibility is what keeps the excitement alive. The idea that something so small and ordinary could hold hidden value captures the imagination of collectors everywhere. So before you spend your next nickel, take a closer look. That simple coin could be more than just spare change. It could be the start of a fascinating journey into the world of coin collecting. Even if you never find a rare error or a high-grade specimen, you gain something just as valuable: an appreciation for history, detail, and the hidden stories behind everyday objects. The 1994 Jefferson Nickel may not make you a billionaire overnight, but it has the power to spark curiosity, inspire discovery, and perhaps, just perhaps, reward you with a surprising find. And that is the true magic of coin collecting, the idea that treasure might already be in your hands waiting to be noticed. So keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the value of what others overlook. Because sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest stories, and who knows, your next discovery might be closer than you think. All it takes is one coin, one moment, and one careful look to change everything.